Okay, so we've got our statement method refactored down to the point where we've removed all the hard-coded strings from this method, and we want to be able to alternatively create an HTML statement. Now, there are different ways you could do this. You could actually have property files or XML files that contain these raw strings, so that you could have like a preferences selection maybe in your application to say if you wanted to do it in HTML, or if you wanted all your strings to be in French or or Chinese or whatever. But let's say your user is beating down the door. They need something right away, and so let's do kind of a simple, straightforward, like we'll just create another an HTML statement method and try to do things that way. Now, actually, one thing I would like to do first before I do my HTML stuff is I'm going to create another version of the statement method, and it's going to have three strings as input. And I'm just going to do this. I'm going to say this is my header format. Actually, yeah, that's my for my header. Yeah. Maybe I should call this format header. Or header format, I like even better. So header format, body format, and footer format. Okay, and then this is going to go here. The body format is going to go here. And the footer format is going to go there. Okay, so now I can change this one to return statement this, comma, statement for header, statement for body, and statement format footer. Okay, so now I have my regular statement method, and it's calling this statement method with the format header, format body, and format footer that I created before. So and the reason I'm doing it this way is now when I do my HTML statement, I can return statement with my HTML versions of all of these. Okay, so let's just make sure this one works. Yeah, okay, that's good. So now let's make an HTML one. Now, okay, HTML. Let's to be on the safe side. Okay, I'm going to collect up these lines that got printed out by my sysout in my test. Remember, I had this this println in here, that's what printed out this business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go into Dreamweaver for a second and make a new HTML file and just copy all that stuff down in there. And yeah, the tabs don't really translate well to HTML. So what I'm going to do, let's see, can I format this as a list? Let's just make that an unordered list and see how that looks. Oops, it did the whole thing. Let me undo. It might be easier to just go into the code. So if you're not a HTML person, don't sweat it. I'm just mucking around. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because when I eventually create so I'm going to make an unordered list. When I eventually create my my tests and everything, I want to make sure, or when I eventually create my finished product, I want to make sure that I have clean HTML in here. So I'm gonna throw in some HTML at this point. And this is just code I'm sticking in to make the individual charges into an unordered list. And again, I'm not trying to do anything too fancy with the HTML, just to have a basic. Oh, and one other thing, I didn't want to do that. Let's see. So this should be my total. I want as a separate line down here. So this is what I want my stuff to look like. And let's say it doesn't have to be exactly the same wording. Like I said, it could be in Spanish, it could be whatever. I'm looking for, I think Martin Fowler actually used different language. Okay, yeah, so he said oh wait, no, he said rentals. He said rentals for, and then he had this with emphasis. Oopsie. And then what else did he do? Oh yeah, and this was a header line also. So let's do that. And what else? Yeah, and then at the end he said something like, oh, I still messed this up. Let me see. Again, this is a total line, so it should be down here. And then he said something like, you owe. Oh yeah, and this is emphasized again, and this rental you earned $6. Okay, so we want our, oops, something over here. That should be paragraph marker. Okay, so we want our HTML to come out with something like this. And again, you know, if you're going to be fancy, you would stick in logos and whatever else you wanted. But this is actually just a piece of the HTML page, so we're not doing all of it. I'm just going to do this business here. Okay, so the this other stuff is, you know, header and HTML stuff that we don't need for this application. All right, because we would insert. Oops. To do this right, we would insert the wording into the did I copy the right stuff? Yeah, okay. So I'm copying the HTML, and actually, let's see. What I want to do is create another test. I'm just gonna stick it here for now. And what I want to do is before I even write the code here, I'm writing a test because I know what I want my stuff to look like. So I'm gonna say test HTML statement. HTML statement. And this is going to be HTML statement. Okay, because that's going to be the name of the method I'm going to create here. And okay. So and I'm going to, this isn't really necessary, but I'm going to stick carriage returns at the end here. So that the so that the HTML looks nice. But adding the carriage returns doesn't do anything as far as the final output from the HTML. Yeah, I'm going to stick these tabs in here. Again, that doesn't really do much as far as HTML is concerned. I think, let's see, did we? When we look at it, yeah, it's just, we could have created a table and aligned things up nicer, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're just getting the gist here. Put this at the end. So yeah, so if we were doing an HTML class, I'd probably, like I said, do this as a table to make things line up. But I just want to show you enough of the HTML so you see how our statement thing is working. So I'm building up my string. I don't want this to be that long, so I'm just gonna, see, I'm not putting a carriage return this time because this is just going to continue on from there. Okay, and then this is going to be customer HTML statement. Okay. Now, notice I don't have an HTML statement yet. So I'm gonna make a dummy one to start. I'm gonna make one that just returns all of this. Oops, what did I? Oh yeah, I need to create that. So I'm gonna make a public string HTML statement, and just going to return that string. Okay, so for now that's all that does. Now that should have fixed this, did it? HTML statement. Okay. So now, since I did a straight cut and paste, those should match, and they do. Okay. And see here, we're getting all the HTML written out. But as we saw in Dreamweaver, if we posted that into a HTML doc, it would all be formatted and stuff. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to create these format header, format footer, and format body for HTML, and we'll do that in the next video.